friends, I'm Rosa. Welcome. So, I've seen this January book tag go around here on YouTube, and essentially it's about 10 questions to take you from 2021 into 2022. The original video is by Jan Agaton, so I'll make sure to link to her channel in the description down below. But I thought it would be fun to also do just to reflect on last year, like reading wise, and get prepared, even though we're like 2/3 into January by now. I'm a little bit late, it's fine. But still get prepared for at least the rest of 2022. So that's what we're doing today. And if you want, feel free to reflect with me. You know, you're always welcome to also answer the same questions. Anywho, let's get started. So the first question goes, what was the last and first, if you remember, book you read last year? I think the first book that I read was actually, at least that I remember, was Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. And I picked it up because I was watching Shadow and Bone on TV or on Netflix. And I didn't know, because I'd been out of like reading in general, or not completely out, but I haven't been reading as much as I have in the past. So I haven't been like updating myself on series that have been released or basically read any bigger fantasy series at all. But then Shadow and Bone was on Netflix and I decided to watch it because it looked like a show that I would enjoy. Like, it's my cup of tea. And while watching it, I was like, this seems like a show that's based off a book. I need to get my hands on this book. This is making me want to start reading again. Why is it that I'm not reading? Because I basically stopped because I was working as, or not stopped completely, but stopped reading a lot because I was working as a translator, which meant that I had to read a lot for that, and I just can't. I couldn't read both for my job and then also in my free time. There were too many words. So I picked up Shadow and Bone, got started reading again, and here we are. So, and the last book that I picked up was The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. Or wasn't the last book that I picked up? I think the last book that I picked up was actually A Christmas Carol. But the last book that I was reading before it turned 2022 was definitely The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, which was a 5-star read, so it was a nice way to finish off the year, but also start this year. I enjoyed that book quite a lot. Question 2 is, what is your first read this year? And I don't remember. Wait. Hold on. The last 20 days have been a blur. Give me a moment. Technically, The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, but is it Red, White, and Royal Blue? Was that the one I picked up after? Oh yeah, it is. Red, White, and Royal Blue. The reason that I wasn't 100% sure on that is because I've been reading a lot of books at the same time. I usually just stick to one book at a time, but for some reason this month I've just been reading a lot of books at the same time. I think right now I got 2 or 3 going, but I've had like 3 or 4 at some point. I don't know what's up with that. It's been a little bit messy. So Red, White, and Royal Blue though by Casey McQuiston, which I can highly recommend. New adult contemporary romance with politics, royals. It's fun, it's a good time. Then question 3 is, share 3 of your reading goals this year. I think I only have 2 reading goals, to be honest. One is I want to read at least 75 or 80 books, which I feel should be doable. I've already read 6, so I'm already far ahead of my schedule. At least according to Goodreads I am. We'll see, we'll see. And another reading goal is to finally stop postponing some of those series that I know that I really want to read, that I keep postponing for whatever reason, such as From Blood and Ash. I've owned those books since like June, and I've only just started reading them here in January because it's about time. It's about time I stop postponing those series. It's the same with The Dark Artifices, The Last Hours, the rest of Throne of Glass. You know, I keep postponing these series that I know that I'm gonna love. Folk of the Air as well. So that's my other goal. I want to stop postponing reading these series that I know that I'm gonna love. Because what's the point? Reading is about having a good time. If I know that I'm gonna enjoy these books, why am I not just reading them to enjoy them? It makes no sense. But other than that, I don't actually have a goal. I think I wanna make lists for every month for the books that I want to read, just to have an idea, but then I'm not gonna try to like do everything in my power to actually read all the books that I put on my list. It's just that I suck at making decisions, so it's easier for me to have a list before going into a month. Otherwise, it'll take me a couple of days to figure out what I want to read next, so yeah. Then question 4, share 3 of your most anticipated titles. Okay, well, I feel like that should be easy. In February, next month, we get A House of Sky and Breath by Sarah J Maas. I gave the first one, A House of Earth and Blood, 5 stars, so I'm really looking forward to the next one because it means maybe less world building. You know, there's always a lot of like building up in first books in series, a lot of explaining to do, a lot of characters you have to meet. So I feel like it's gonna be more about plot and also character relationships and stuff, and I'm looking forward to that a lot. Not saying that there was too much of the other stuff in the other book. I gave it 5 stars for a reason. So I really enjoyed it. I read it in a day as well. I don't know, it's a crazy time. But yeah, that one, after reading from Blood and Ash, although I've not read A Kingdom of Flesh and Fire and also The Crown of Gilded Bones, I am really looking forward to The War of Two Queens, which will be coming out in March. So that's gonna be a good time as well, I think. At least if I enjoy the next two. We'll see about that. I'm picking them up soon, during January, so yes. And lastly, I could mention so many more. Kingdom of the Feared as well, which will be coming out. I think she just posted it will be coming out on the 27th of September actually. I know that's very specific, but I'm pretty sure she said the 27th of September. She just posted a sneak peek of it, so that's why I know. That's why I remember. But it's the 3rd book in the Kingdom of the Wicked trilogy, and I love the first 2. I'm expecting things for the 3rd one, so we'll see. But I can mention so many more books that I'm looking forward to being released here in 2022, so if you want to see a video on that, definitely let me know. And question 5 is, which goals did you reach, not reach last year? Since I started like caring about goals around May, I didn't really set any for myself. I kept like pushing my reading goal on Goodreads. I think I ended up with 83 reads last year, which I think is okay considering my year was basically, aside from a little bit of reading here and there when like on a train or something. I used to read a lot while on planes as well, but there hasn't been a lot of flying the last couple of years either, so. But anyway, since my goal started from May, I think I did good reading 80 books. So I didn't really not reach any goals, but if we do another January tag in 2023, we might see if I have another answer, a different one. So question 6 is, are there any new releases this year you've heard of that you have no desire to read? If there is, honestly, I don't remember them. I just don't remember stuff that I don't feel is important to me, so I just kind of like, yeah, whatever. So I don't know. I can't. There probably has been, but I just, like a lot of the bigger books I want, a lot of the highly anticipated books I want. If there was one of those that I could be like, nah, I'm not interested in it, I would mention that. But honestly, I feel like all the bigger ones I do want to read. So I guess I'm basic, and I also just don't store information that I just don't really need. I don't know how to say that. I don't remember. Also, I want to read everything, so yeah, it's a problem. It's a problem. There's not enough time. Question 7 is, what are some reading habits you want to change this year, if any? I actually want to get better at limiting myself when I go to bed and read, because a lot of this is more like a mix of, I want to make sure that I get more sleep. I want to change that habit because I have had a very terrible sleeping schedule, as in lengthwise. It still sucks compared to the average sleeping schedule, like when in the day I sleep, but amount of sleep, I want to fix that. So I want to get better at telling myself stop reading past whatever time, because otherwise, you know, with House of Earth and Blood, like I mentioned, I read it in a day, so I was basically up until 7 a.m. reading, and I know that that's not healthy. I should not be doing that, so I want to change that, because I don't think I should be reading at 7 a.m. when I have work to do the next day. I don't think that's healthy. So that's a habit that I want to change. But other than that, I'm not gonna like hate myself for checking my phone while I'm reading. If I get distracted, it's just because I'm not that into the book, and I don't want to try to push myself to be more interested in the book if the plot is just not keeping me the same way. Like I read Realm Breaker recently last week, and I was having a hard time getting through that one because it felt like it was very long drawn. For me at least, the plot was a little bit slow. So I checked my phone a lot. I was fighting to keep my eyes open, you know, that sort of thing. But I'm not gonna hate on myself for having those issues while I'm reading. It just means the book is not a perfect fit for me. So yeah. So question 8 is, Are there any adaptations you're excited about? Shadow and Bone Season 2, very excited for that one. But that's already an adaptation, so I don't know. Oh gosh, I'm so bad at keeping up with these. Echo Tar is being made as a series, I believe on HBO. Isn't it HBO? I think it's HBO. So I'm looking forward to that, but also very nervous for it, like extremely nervous for it. I feel like with these series that we love the most, it's very dangerous to cast because you can never get the actors completely correct for everyone's internal image of them or like their mannerisms or whatever. You can never get it perfect, which I'm aware of. You know, I'm aware of it, so I don't hate on actors for getting casted. If they're not perfect to my vision of them, they'll probably be perfect to someone else's vision. I think Shades of Magic is also being turned into something, so I'm looking forward to that, but I've literally no clue what's coming out this year. I'm so bad at keeping track of that, so I don't know. If you have any though, let me know so I can actually stay updated. I would love to know what's coming out this year because I don't know. Number 9 is favorite bookish memory of last year. First of all, starting talking about books on this channel just felt right. You know, it just felt right. It's a very small corner of YouTube, and I know that like it's a small corner of YouTube, but it's a cozy little corner and I like it over here. So that felt right. Even if I have had family members say, maybe you should focus on more lifestyle content or where are the vlogs at, like where do they go? It just feels right and cozy to talk about books over here. So that is a good memory that I have. Starting out with those first reading wrap-ups, just a good time. Getting my first Illumicrate box as well was awesome. Opening, oh my gosh, I still remember opening the box and seeing Empire the Vampire, that version of it with the castle, digital sprint, that's not what it's called, print on the pages. Beautiful. Like it was the first kind of special edition that I have as well, so that was a very good memory too. Just talking about more books with friends of mine, finding book art. I have a lot of good bookish memories this year. It's probably smaller things to a lot of people, but I don't know. Having a good time. Just having a good time. Also getting introduced to everything over here on Booktube, this little corner of YouTube, has just been a good time. So, and then the last question number 10 is carryovers from last year that you still plan on finishing. I have not finished a book other than Black Sun, but it's not because I purposely DNF'd it. It's because I was purposely only reading one book at a time, and for some reason it just didn't catch me in the moment. But I'm actually picking that up this month, so that'll be finished. And I think I also haven't finished The Bargainer, that series. I want to read that one too. I've only read the first one, but it feels like my kind of vibe. I just read it in October, the first book, and was in a readathon, so I couldn't pick up the other ones. So that'll happen at some point this year as well, most definitely. It's a fantasy romance. I love myself some fantasy romance. And also Stalking Jack the Ripper, that quartet. I have not finished. I'm missing the 2 last books, but I don't know when that's gonna happen. I am planning on reading them though, just don't know when. Other than that, I don't think there's... Are there any other book series? Because like DNF books, I don't have those. I'm too stubborn. I can't not. So let me see. Ooh, Honey and Ice trilogy. That one, I think the 3rd book is actually, is it this month or is it February it's coming out? That one I'm also looking forward to finishing. And then we got some more anticipated releases such as the 2nd one in the 6 Crimson Cranes, which is called The Dragon's Promise by Elizabeth Lim. Looking forward to that one. And also, of course, These Twisted Bonds by Lexi Ryan, which is the 2nd one in these These Hollow Vows, not These Twisted Hollow something. But again, those are more like series. I don't really have books that I've half finished because I'm too stubborn, okay? I'm too stubborn. I need to get, maybe that's a habit I need to get rid of, actually. I need to change. It's okay to DNF books. I don't know, I still want to know where the story goes, you know? So I still want to know where the story goes. Even if I'm having a hard time, I still want to know where the story goes. I don't know, I don't want to be left out, so. But I think that is it, isn't it? Oh, as well, An Ember in the Ashes Ember Quartet. I need to finish that this year too, because I stopped reading the second book at 95% and I still hate myself for it. Who does that? And it wasn't because I wasn't having a good time, it was because I was reading it on the train or on a plane. I don't really know, one of the two. And I think I got to my destination and I just had to stop reading and then I just forgot all about it. So frustrating. So I need to do something about that. Probably gonna read all 4 when I get my hands on the 4th one as well. And it's gonna be a good time because those books are so good. So I think that's my last one. Yeah. So if you want to check out Jan's video, I'll make sure to link to it in the description box down below. If you have any answers that you want to share to any of these questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. And if you recognize any of the answers that I've given, if that's not how you say that, if you can relate, let me know as well. But that is all I got today. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to give it a thumbs up. And if you want to hang out with me and everyone in the comments and nerd out and talk about books, consider hitting the subscribe button as well. But that's all. So I'm gonna leave you to it. But I hope you enjoyed this video and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!